Lights out.
Lights Out stars Teresa Palmer, Maria Bello, and is directed by David F. Sandberg. So guys, before I get into this review, I just want to give you a warning. I'm going to do some spoiler talk after the rating. So don't go anywhere. You're good up until the rating, but after the rating, you are dismissed. So there were two horror movies that I was really anticipating this year, just because they were high profile, didn't know too much about them. One of them was The Conjuring 2, the other one was Lights Out. And Lights Out is one of those, it could go either way. It could be really great, or it could be really bad. It's hard to tell. It kind of comes off as a Japanese-inspired type film, just because of the way the ghost or apparition looks, Diana. She looks like one of those Japanese demons. And as we all know, a lot of times when America does Japanese-style movies or even remakes, they come off as bad. So how did Lights Out stack up? Let's talk about it. So in Lights Out, Maria Bello, she plays Sophia, and when she was a child, she was in a mental institution, and she had a sort of friend named Diana. Diana was one of those friends that is crazy in the head and like a leech, really latched on. You know, sometimes we can have people in our lives that are, some might say, obsessive. Being on YouTube, this actually does happen, but that's a different video. So anyway, an accident happens, Diana is electrocuted and she dies, but her presence doesn't. And she is always still latched on to Sophia, but she can only be seen in the dark. When the lights are on, then no more Diana. And the reason for this is because when she was a child, she had this light sensitivity. Some people actually have this. And when she would go out in the sun, she would burn. So really that's your weapon against her. Teresa Palmer plays her daughter, Rebecca, and her younger brother, Martin, is played by Gabriel Bateman. These are two children that have had to deal with their mother's craziness their whole lives. So they're not normal kids. They have social issues, and that ties into the story. And a key factor here is that everybody wants to run away from Sophia, including her previous husbands. They don't want to be around her because of Diana. And this is the direction that Rebecca takes. But unfortunately, Martin is a child, so he is stuck in this situation. And what is cool about this movie is that Diana can kill you. She can touch you. She can rip your skin apart. She is not your normal ghost. As a matter of fact, Sophia even says in the movie, she's not a ghost. She is real, even though she's dead. To me, that makes the story that much more terrifying. Every time the lights are out in this movie, you are tense. You are scared that Diana is gonna appear. And there's also a cool little plot element in the third act where we find out that blacklight actually does not hurt Diana, but we can use it to our benefit because we will actually be able to see her clearer. And let me just say, when you do actually see her under, the black light, she looks pretty gnarly. And I had to steal that word gnarly from one of my great horror buddies, Rob Muse. Also, as a cinematographer, you're gonna have a lot of fun working on a movie like this because that's what this movie is about. The light is a character in this movie. So a cinematographer can use that to their advantage. Some of the scenes, they are really cool looking. Some of them are really creepy. And really, it's just a visual feast for the viewer. And finally, for the pros, the third act is really good in this movie. It does what a horror movie should do. The end is really cool. And I don't want to say anything because I don't want to spoil anything, but I really enjoyed it. It was kind of predictable, like I saw it coming, but I still really enjoyed it. As far as any cons for Lights Out, there's nothing that's going to be groundbreaking. This isn't a new age of horror or anything. This isn't a movie that's going to be talked about 10 years from now. This is one of those horror movies that you go to on a Saturday night and you just sit back and you enjoy yourself. And will you watch it again? Probably, but it's not like the first movie that's going to come to mind when you say, ooh, I want to watch a scary movie tonight. So for that, I'm definitely going to give it a high humdrum. If you are a horror fan, you will probably buy this movie. But I think a casual moviegoer would enjoy this movie too. So now let's do a little bit of spoiler talk because there are some things, really one thing in particular that I want to talk about, and that is the third act, the end. I already talked about the black light and everything, but the big thing I wanted to mention was the mother having to kill herself to get rid of Diana. And like I stated earlier, I saw this coming a mile away, but really it was inevitable. It was the only plot device that they could do to get rid of Diana, really. But I like that it is kind of open-ended, whereas Diana could come back. I mean, if there's money to be made, producers will find a way for her to come back. And to me, Diana could be kind of a horror icon, really. I mean, Diana was a creepy, creepy character. And I would welcome a sequel to this movie if done right. So anyway, guys, what are your thoughts on Lights Out? Looking forward to hearing them. And if you like talking horror 24/7, make sure you check out the Killer Flicks Facebook group, where we talk horror all day, every day. Like and subscribe if you like what you see. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. And Drumdum out.